Welcome to the latest episode of 5 Minutes of Management. I'm Rick Bell alongside Frank Kalman. Today, as always, Frank, we have a great episode. We're going to talk about what leaders think of religion in the workplace, as well as what the biggest challenge for recruiting is. Frank, first we have a couple studies from the I'm not really sure I believe this file. First, an SAP study found that 97% of HR leaders say that identifying qualified candidates is their greatest recruiting challenge. I find that number hard to believe. In addition, 82% said that they are overwhelmed by having to manage job posts on multiple job boards. You know, these numbers are just hard for me to fathom, Frank. Hiring is a difficult process. Managing multiple job posts is a juggling act. But 97% of, say, finding qualified candidates is their greatest challenge. For me, it's the interviewing and the actual hiring process. Now, another study jumped out at me as well. This is about a lack of love for HR. An average of 75% of employees said that HR communicates with them never, rarely, or only sometimes. Oh, really? My experience says, if anything, they over-communicate with a lot of meaningless, unimportant emails, and don't you dare start texting me, HR. Frank, any thoughts on hiring and text from HR?
I love HR. I don't have enough communication coming from HR. Please, more emails, phone calls, voice messages, Snapchats, Facebook posts, carrier pigeon letters, smoke signals. I love HR. I can't get enough of it. On the hiring, no, it doesn't surprise me. I think we're operating in a 4.4 unemployment rate environment. The labor market is very tight. It is very hard for companies to find people with in-demand skills. It does not surprise me at all that 97% of business leaders are struggling to find qualified candidates.
Oh, okay, I'll take that.
Rick, the topic of religion at work is back in the spotlight. As the Wall Street Journal writes about this week, religious discrimination complaints filed with the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission increased by 50% from 2006 to 2016. Even though religious discrimination represents a small portion of EEOC complaints, you could say the rise reflects an increasingly multicultural workforce that includes more religious faiths. The Journal story highlights some companies that are going above and beyond to make religious accommodations in their workplaces, which brings up the question if religion has a place at work. Some sources in the story say that yes, it should, while others remain steadfast that it should have no place in the office. Rick, what's your take?
Frank, instead of banning or curtailing religion in the workplace, I say embrace it. So many companies these days have employee resource groups, the ERGs, and some of those are religious based. I even worked at a place where a small group of people from the Catholic faith got together once a week in a little prayer group. I have no problem with it, and I really believe that in this multicultural society with so many different religions in various workplaces, that we should embrace it.
Yeah, I agree. I think religion at work is fair game, especially in 2017. I think employers do need to make sure that they strike a balance in how they craft their policies around religion to allow for a religious accommodation in the workplace so long as it's not necessarily disruptive to other people's work. I think that's what's important.
Amen.
So that's all the time we have on this week's episode of 5 Minutes of Management. As always, please visit our YouTube page and like all of our videos. You can also follow us at Workforce News on Twitter. And of course, for all workforce coverage, please visit www.workforce.com. For Frank Kalman, he's Rick Bell. See you next week.